For 60 years, developing nations climbed the same ladder. Manufacturing, call centers, IT services, knowledge work. Each rung lifted hundreds of millions of people into the middle class. Africa was next in line. 1.4 billion people. Median age, 19. And the latter is disappearing. India built a $200 billion IT services export industry. The Philippines became the call center of the world. Both followed the same playbook: offer skilled workers at a fraction of Western costs, attract foreign investment, develop capabilities, move up the value chain. Africa was following the same path. Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, all emerging as tech and outsourcing hubs. The sector already employs 1.1 million people across the continent. Industry projections said it would reach $35 billion by 2028. If Africa captured just 10 more percentage points of the global outsourcing market, it could create 5 million direct jobs and 7 million indirect ones. A joint study by Caribou, Genesis Analytics, and the MasterCard Foundation found that 40% of tasks in Africa's tech outsourcing sector could be automated by 2030. Entry-level roles make up 68% of Africa's BPO workforce, and more than half their tasks are automatable. Customer service positions, which account for 44% of employment in the sector, are especially exposed. Only 10% of tasks are fully resilient to automation. The Citrini Research scenario showed what this looks like when it hits an established player. India's IT giants, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, saw contract cancellations accelerate as AI coding agents collapsed the cost advantage. The entire value proposition of outsourcing was built on one thing: our workers cost less than yours. But the marginal cost of an AI agent has collapsed to the price of electricity. Africa wasn't just losing a competitive race, the race itself was being canceled. Now consider the scale. Africa has 1.4 billion people, with a median age of 19. Nigeria alone has over 216 million, with 130 to 140 million working-age people. 3 to 4 million young Nigerians enter the labor market every single year. The vast majority work in informal, low-productivity jobs: street vendors, small traders, casual labor. South Africa's youth unemployment is above 50%, among the highest on earth. And here's the number that should alarm everyone: only 9% of young Africans possess basic computer skills. Meanwhile, the International Finance Corporation estimates that 230 million jobs across sub-Saharan Africa will require digital skills by 2030. The World Bank has been clear: this youth wave becomes a demographic dividend only if education, health, and job creation improve dramatically. On the current trajectory, it becomes a demographic disaster. There's a layer to this story that most people don't know. Africa already powers AI, invisibly. In 2023, it was revealed that OpenAI outsourced the content moderation work needed to make ChatGPT safe to Kenyan workers earning less than $2 an hour. Across 39 African nations, workers are employed through outsourcing intermediaries to do data annotation, content labeling, and the human training that makes AI systems function. For companies like Meta, OpenAI, and Samsung, these workers exist behind what researchers call a circle of invisibility. Layers of subcontractors that shield the tech companies from accountability. Here's the cruelest part: African workers are training the AI systems that will automate African workers. And even these exploitative jobs are now at risk of being automated themselves. The optimistic response is always the same: technology creates more jobs than it destroys, and for 200 years that's been true. The ATM made bank branches cheaper to operate, so banks opened more of them, and teller employment rose for 20 years. The internet killed travel agencies but created entirely new industries in their place. But every single one of those new jobs required a human to perform it. AI is different. It's a general intelligence that improves at the very tasks humans would redeploy to. Displaced coders can't simply move to AI management, because AI is already capable of that. The developing nation playbook: offer cheap labor, attract investment, build skills, climb the value chain, breaks at step 1. Cheap labor is no longer the cheapest option. The Brookings Institution calls this premature automation, nations automating before they've industrialized, skipping the phase where a middle class gets built entirely. You can't leapfrog if you don't own the landing pad. The African Development Bank projects that inclusive AI deployment could contribute up to $1 trillion in additional GDP by 2035, if the continent strengthens its digital foundations. Africa has leapfrogged before. M-Pesa brought mobile banking to millions of people who never had a bank account. That kind of innovation is not a one-time event. It's evidence of what's possible when infrastructure meets need. Nigeria's creative economy, Nollywood, Afrobeats, the fashion industry, represents sectors where human creativity and cultural specificity still carry real value. AI can assist, but it cannot replace what makes these industries resonate. The outsourcing sector itself can evolve, shifting from basic process work to knowledge process outsourcing, higher value services that require critical thinking, domain expertise, and judgment that AI can't easily replicate. But all of this requires investment in digital infrastructure, education reform, and policy action on a timeline measured in years, not decades. 64% of African workers already use AI tools at work. That's higher than the global average. The appetite is there. The question is whether institutions can move fast enough to channel it. The Western AI debate asks one question: what happens when workers are displaced? Africa faces a different question entirely. What happens when the jobs never arrive? 1.4 billion people, median age 19. 3 to 4 million entering Nigeria's labor market alone, every single year. The window for action is open, but it is closing. The real question isn't whether AI will transform Africa, it's whether Africa gets to participate in that transformation. This is the conversation that needs to happen.